Are you a fan of Batman? Because I've got some really cool key comic books right here featuring the first appearance of his fifth Robin, Damian Wayne. Let's take a look. Okay, what I have here is Batman 655 and Batman 656 from 2006. The writer was Grant Morrison and the artist was Andy Kubert. Both of these books go for about $50 in high grade. So yes, let me clear this up right away. Damian Wayne was the fifth Robin. It's Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake. Very briefly, it's Stephanie Brown, also known as Spoiler, who would go on to become Batgirl. And then after that, it's Damian Wayne. So who is Damian Wayne? Let's start off by saying that I think he's maybe my favorite Robin ever. He's a very, very cool character. He's extremely skilled in fighting. And there's a great Robin run that came out in comics recently where he basically goes to this Lazarus Pit Island where you can't die. And he has all these like battles to the death with like different fighters that are like the best fighters on Earth. It's just really good, and I've always liked Damian Wayne as a character. So to understand the character of Damian Wayne, we have to go back to the beginning of the training of Batman. Remember, Batman was trained by the League of Assassins under Ra's al Ghul. Now, Ra's al Ghul had a daughter, Talia al Ghul. There's always been a love interest there between Batman and Talia al Ghul. They end up having a brief fling, and a child is conceived. Now, Talia does not tell Bruce Wayne about this child, and she trains this child, Damian, from birth in the ways of the League of Assassins. So by the time he becomes 10, 11, 12, he's already a skilled fighter and assassin. And then in Grant Morrison's run, she kind of just shows up and tells Batman, hey, guess what? We have a son, and here he is. Have fun. And after some convincing, Batman finally takes him in as his new Robin. So this is the first full appearance of Damian Wayne, and this is the first cameo appearance because he's mostly shrouded in shadow in this issue, and just his eyes are shown. This is also really the beginning of Grant Morrison's run on Batman, which I do have the 3 omnibuses for. In fact, there is his first cameo appearance. And then in the next issue, we get his very first full appearance where you can actually see him and he calls Batman father. So that's kind of the big reveal of this issue. I think Grant Morrison's run is really cool. And I really, really love, having these 2 issues in my collection being the first appearance of Damian Wayne, because like I said, I think he's my favorite Robin, and he's just a really cool dynamic character with, also kind of a tragic upbringing, the way he was raised by Talia al Ghul. There's a lot that has to happen in terms of him learning not to unalive people and how to, adapt to Batman's way of doing things, where it's about seeking justice, not revenge. These are the, kind of tribulations that the character goes through. And I think it just makes for interesting character development. And I just really love having both of these books in my collection.